Sometimes, leadership isn't tested in boardrooms or strategy meetings. It's tested when the storm hits. Out here, drenched and uncertain, we learned that resilience isn't just a slogan, it's survival. When the rain poured down, the question wasn't who could lead a bank, it was who could lead through the chaos. My guest, Sonny Zulu, Managing Director of Standard Chartered Bank, a man who manages fortunes, people and unpredictability. We went on a hike that turned into a test of leadership, one that revealed what it truly means to stay calm when everything changes. As we hurtled into that shed, dripping wet, the formality melted away. Sonny's composure reminded me that true leaders don't control the weather, they master the reaction to it. Sonny shares how he navigates financial storms, planning, risk managing, and leading through uncertainty. His secret lies in preparing for the unpredictable and turning pressure into perspective. Watching him laugh through the downpour was a reminder that leadership is emotional discipline. It's about remaining centered even when everything else is soaked in chaos.
How are you, sir? This is deep.
How are you? You're right? Long time indeed. How have you been?
Good.
Oh my goodness. You okay?
See you.
Nice seeing you. Very fine. Thank you so much.
Good.
Nice seeing you. How's the
How are
family?
you, sir?
Life now expensive,
Yeah.
but they're fine.
Oh, fantastic.
How's the bank?
The bank is good. The bank is very good. This is a very nice place you have here. Very, very nice
Sometimes
place.
the beauty is lost on me, but
Yeah.
thank you very much.
No, this is good. This is
We're
very,
utilizing
very good.
our bush in this country.
Ah, this is beautiful. How long has this been open?
Welcome to Miners Game
Thank you.
Ranch since started in 2020, opened up last year. October, November.
I see.
July, October, November.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it started during the COVID time, just when
Actually,
COVID was starting.
This is a COVID baby. Without COVID, this
It was never
place-
going to be here.
No.
Really, yeah?
What's the story behind
The story
this?
behind this, I needed a safe place to run away. You can see the double fence,
Yes.
where I would make sure that it's disease-free from you COVID.
So I think my first question is around leadership. What is your definition of leadership? Or what does leadership mean for you?
Great. I think to begin with, I believe leadership is a privilege. Yeah, so every time when somebody has opportunity to lead, one has to do that with a lot of gratitude. One has to lead knowing that they have been privileged to be in that position of leadership. And number two, it's a huge responsibility. Because when you are leading, there are so many others that are dependent on your leadership. And it is something that one should never, ever take lightly. And to be able to lead effectively, vision is important.
Okay.
And that is something that one has to sit down and just to think through. What is really the reason why I'm here? Whether you've been appointed or whether you fought to be in that position, but what am I trying to? Because sometimes there's all this excitement, you know,
About the position.
of the position, and you know what comes with a position.
Yeah.
But that should never be the focus. If as a leader, the focus is,
Do we get to rest?
come on, let's get going. Yeah. So as a leader, if the focus is on things that you get out of that position, then you don't know why you're there. So to come to the question on how I'd be able to define leadership, I would say leadership, it is about vision,
Yeah.
It's about direction. It's about transformation. It's about getting people to do what is required to be done, and they do that while liking it and enjoying it.
So, vision. I'm sure you've always heard the debate around, are leaders born? Are leaders made? Is leadership meant for everybody or for a few? What is your take looking at your own personal journey?
Okay, so this answer might not be a very common answer.
Yeah.
I believe that everybody is born to be a leader.
Okay.
And everyone is a leader of some sort. And sometimes they've just not recognized their areas of leadership and not even recognized that they're leaders. So think about it. Everyone who is a parent is leading a home.
Yeah. So it's not about the position or title.
No. It's really what we do, the responsibility that we have and what we do. And every single, if you're driving a car and there are people in that car, at that particular time, you're the leader. Yeah, you're the leader. And as a leader, you decide when do we turn, where do we stop, what do we do, and everything else. Some people be asking, you'll be driving the car and somebody said, oh, can we stop now? Yeah. And I go, oh, can you stop now? And sometimes, if as a leader, you have not planned, you're not communicating, the trip from Lusaka to Chipata, you can be stopping even 40 times. Because as a leader, there's nothing you have put in place to be able to help the people that you're leading to say, you know what, guys, we need to get to Chipata by this time. I've stopped here. Anybody who wants to have a break, have your break now. But if only one child says, I want to have a break, and then you stop, they have a break. After 15 minutes, another one says, no, and that carries on. What is your style of leadership? So I'm using this very basic example, but it's important for us to realize that leadership, it is not and never will be a position that you have been appointed. You're now the head of department, then you've become a leader. No. Sometimes it's even just organizing a party. You've been asked to organize a birthday party for someone. At that particular time, you're the leader
of that particular assignment.
Absolutely.
One thing you mentioned earlier in the car is that it becomes difficult for you when you're asked who you would point to or at as probably an icon of a leader or a symbol of true leadership. What's your concept around that in terms of building leadership character?
Great. So just to build a little bit more on that, right? So every leader is different and unique. And every time I see somebody who is a leader, I know that they never got there by accident. Whether we like them or we don't, there's something about them that helped them to get where they are. Even the dictators, the ones that everybody says, oh, this one was a bad leader. Try to look at their ideologies. Try to look at how did this bad leader manage to get 700,000 people behind them? You know what I mean?
To believe in the ideology.
Exactly. So there's something about the way that they engage, the way that they communicate, the way that they position themselves, the way that they work with other people that got them into that position. So the one thing that I always encourage, do not at all disqualify anyone
from leadership.
Whoever has managed to get to the top at whatever level, look at what you can learn from them. Then translate that, apply it to yourself, and see how, if they had other areas which were negative, how do you take the positives, add to your positives, and even become a better leader? So, and there are also people that are extremely good. You like them. get to know about the negative side, about their dark side, do not throw away the good that you learned from them. And that's my approach.
So, who validates the standard for society of that's a good leader and this is a bad leader, or this is good leadership, this type of leadership, especially that there's so many books, so much literature around, leadership.
Yeah.
But if you say we're picking from everybody, who validates the norms of what is wrong and what is right?
Okay. So, let me try to break it down. You can have a good leader, but not effective. You can also have an effective leader, but not a good leader.
Okay. Where are we going now?
This
is the bunny slide.
Okay.
Now, look at it.
The
Wherever bunny
Mpwani slide.
when you are round. So here. Take the time, otherwise you go.
So Mpwani slid here.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we're told once you have an incident here,
Then you get to be named.
yeah.
That's one place was supposed to name there. It's called Duncan's Dive.
Okay.
When you leave your vision behind, this guy among the Katongo team
Yeah.
came running. You're there.
No, I wasn't.
He came running. He couldn't stop. He couldn't turn. He just went
What?
Down into
On
the
the other
river.
side?
into the river, in that river.
Oh my God.
And he left his spectacles. Therefore, meaning when you leave your vision behind.
Very safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you were breaking down on the validation of
Exactly.
what's wrong.
So-
and right. Yeah.
One can be good but not effective. One can also be effective but not good.
Yeah.
So there's certain, let me give an example. You may have a task and say, we want to get this huge rock up the mountain. And you can have a leader who comes in with a very firm hand, abusing people, pushing them, we're gonna move and so forth and so on, and doing all those, kind of things that people really won't like, but maybe they will respond. So it might be effective. You may actually manage to get that big rock up, maybe in a few hours and so on. And when people look at that, they may even award you to say, you know what, this is a leader that got this rock
Get
up there.
things done.
But how do the people feel? When those people go home, what do they say about you as a leader? And leadership should go beyond just achieving the goal.
Okay.
There are certain times where you as a leader would say, you know what? I don't care if this takes me 5 more hours, but I need to think about the safety, the security, the happiness, the mental state of my people.
What about deadlines?
Deadlines will always be there. So a great leader then is the one that is able to be good and effective at the same time. So you could have probably still achieved doing that in 3 hours, but because if I need the team to work together, I may not necessarily have to go and shout at them. I may actually have to pause and to say, team, come, let's sit down together. How do we work together to ensure that we get this thing up there in 3 hours? What are your views? Okay, this. Okay, great, fantastic. Guys, you understand that we may actually have to work a few more hours or a few, kind of differently for us to get to that. Now, you will still manage to get the people to do that, but they're doing it with joy. They're doing it with gladness. They're doing it with and you're there together. And if somebody probably, does not make it, or they become weak or something, somebody comes and holds their hands and helps them out and so on. If you can manage to be both good and effective, there you have a great leader.
Reading so many management or leadership books and what you explain, many would say it sounds a lot like theory than what often happens within a workspace, especially in a very highly competitive world and environment that we live in. You've got targets, you've got numbers. I mean, you're in the banking sector. It's now about which bank is posting the billions of profit after tax and things like that. So how do you balance getting the numbers and that which you talk about? Because it seems far-fetched to have an environment where people are just held by the hand and are given leeway to work like humans beyond, you know, the numbers. You've got targets.
Yeah. So I think it doesn't happen in one day.
Yeah.
This is something that you build. It's a culture that you build. So as a leader, how much time do you spend with your teams? And when do you actually spend time with them? If you're only spending time with your team when you want them to deliver, guess what? They may give you enough. They may give you what you want them to deliver, but they will never have a connection with you. They'll never have a connection with the organization. They'll never have a connection with your vision. And I say, before trying to connect people to your vision, start by connecting with them. So there's certain things as simple as, are you comfortable to sit down with your team and just have Shima together? And just to get the views. Are you comfortable to sit and just to hear? When one of your team members, for instance, comes in and says, oh, I didn't sleep well last night, my wife is in hospital. Do you remember that after that conversation and go back and just ask them, say, you said your wife was in hospital.
How's she doing?
How's she doing? Or does that conversation just end there and there? Costa, if you are CEO were to visit one of your staff members at their home the day when they had a baby and take a little small present, they will never forget that for the rest of their life.
Coming up, how does Sonny translate the same calm into billion kwacha decisions? Stay with us. After the break, the CEO reveals his strategy behind his storm-tested success.
Many times we are hard on them and we actually say it's not acceptable.
Crisis. I mean, 2019, 2020 was a huge disruption that the world never saw coming. How did you navigate that period as a leader of COVID? Because there was so many things that began to change in the way business is done, nobody anticipated, and even afterwards, post-COVID, I think business systems and operations have shifted.
The world for businesses and at an individual level. So on a personal level, I think I managed, that is the time when I managed to finish my book, which I was struggling to finish for a very long time. So I managed to finish my book, but it also allowed me to connect with my team at a level that I had never imagined, and to getting to know more what was happening in their lives, because one of the ladies in my team, I realized she was alone in the country and she was locked up in her apartment with nobody. And on her birthday, we arranged for things to be delivered to her apartment. She broke down because all her birthdays she used to travel to London to be with her family and everything. And this was the first one that she was just alone. And just to see the whole team coming together, and we did a video for her, put together, and she has never been the same. And we have built very good bonds, even today. Those kind of experiences, you can never replace them. And from the business side, it also helped, and I know different businesses did their things differently. For me, I think what it helped me to do for the business that I was looking after was to take a strategy that did not belong to me, because I adopted that strategy, I got it, I threw it away, and now I had to draw a strategy. And people were very receptive. Even my stakeholders within the bank, they said, look, because nobody then knew what was going to come next. So that fresh start. And so one of the things I encourage people as well to say, when things have not worked well in your life, your business has gone down, or your relationship has not worked, or whatever it is, it has crumbled down. Don't just sit back and mourn and cry. It's a great opportunity to restart.
Reset. But post-COVID, I'm sure you've been following the debates. Big multinationals, big top 500 companies, whether staff should go back full-time, whether working from home really does work. As a CEO, what works best for you? Interface, or is working from home a new business phenomenon that we should be adopting as a world? This debate is fully fledged now. Some companies are forcing people to come back home. Others have continued, and it has become the mode of operation.
I think it has to be hybrid.
Yeah.
It has to be hybrid. And working from home, a few things that we need to realize. Number one, I think maturity comes in, because I know, and I've been there, where I'm asking somebody working from home and I realized, no, they were at the beach somewhere and nothing was happening. So different levels, those things will happen. But it also tells me that if somebody can do that at home, then it means they can do that in the office as well, because the body can be here, but they're not doing anything. So it's more of what is the culture that we have built, how committed our teams to the vision of the organization. If we have done our job right, for me, I don't really care whether somebody's home or not. I don't really care whether they come in at 8 or 10, as long as they're delivering. So there are certain times when even the ones that are coming to the office, if they want to come in at 6, go home at 3 or at 4, perfectly fine. But then we have also to know that for collaboration, there are certain times when you need everybody together. So whether people are connecting in person or people are connecting via the virtual platforms, it's always important for people to collaborate. What becomes a challenge is when you are required and you're not available. Virtually you're not available, physically you're not available, then there's a problem. So, but going forward, I think that the hybrid model is what should be able to work. And my advice, most of the times when I'm speaking to people, is do not get something that is good and then you throw it away because the period, or what got you to the place where you started, giving something that was good has passed. So let me give an example. A lot of companies said, oh yeah, we're not going to accept digital signatures. Yeah, you can do this from anywhere, and because we're in the COVID time. And that convenience is introduced, people begin to enjoy using digital signatures, and then afterwards say, no, now we are going back, COVID is done, we're going back to wet signatures. I'm like, how do you go back? How do you go back? What has happened? So if something is good, you have adopted it, we run with it. That culture will be built in the entire organization.
Here's something highly stereotypical but controversial. You've worked internationally, and I think there are things like excellence or culture that you say these transcend as fundamentals of human values. But again, there's this notion of just what's something wrong with our pigmentation in terms of achieving, excellence. And sometimes, with your exposure, you were out, you came back. Probably he's bringing. That cannot work here. Have you experienced the culture shift and just this resilience of change management, but the cultural setting of people failing to accept and alienating you because of your exposure?
So I think that it's not really about the pigmentation of the skin.
That's why I said stereotypically controversial.
I know, but I think there's a lot more to do with what have we accepted over time. And as a people, if we have accepted certain standards, unfortunately, that begins to look like normal. So I can give some typical examples, and some of these examples, when I think about them, like, you know what, I can't believe it. How does it happen like this? You know, there's somebody who came in, the one I needed some work to be done, and somebody says, oh yeah, can I come and get the stuff from home? I'll go and do them. I said, okay, fine. They came in with a truck, collected. They've never delivered. They've never told me what has happened.
Yeah.
And I always have to keep on calling and calling.
following
now
up.
I've gotten tired of calling. I just left it like that. But that is something that looks like, for them, it's just normal. There's somebody again, and I'll preserve the name, okay? Very good at what he does. Extremely good. Very talented. Agreed on the materials, made a payment 50%, and everything went quiet. And I'm thinking, what has happened? So my wife comes in and was asking me, you know, have you followed up? I said, okay, I made one call. I made another call. It was no response. And after a long time, and I'm talking of over 3 months, and then we managed to connect, and I was told, oh yeah, no, I was unwell, this had happened, and everything else. But you see, things like that are things that, when you see them repeating themselves, you're wondering, what's going on? The last one I'm going to give, my wife ordered something, you know, now there's delivery, which is good, right? So the food that she ordered came after about 1 hour, 45 minutes, close to 2 hours. So my wife was asking to say, this has taken so long. What happened? You know what response was given? Madam, you're so lucky that you have even
Received. Your others don't receive.
Yeah.
But what creates this societal gap? Should we be investing in more mentorship? Is it a culture of indiscipline? Because like you're saying, back to the workspace, it's when people don't see anything wrong, that they're delivering late, they're not meeting deadlines, and it's affecting other departments. It affects the bottom line at the end of the day. But it's also this sense of, whether I should call it millennial or Gen Z entitlement. How are you navigating around this new culture of millennials and the sense of entitlement, and just, I can say, we don't care whether it happens or not?
I think there's a lot of work to be done. First of all, it starts with the schools. I think that has to be inculcated in our young people from the time when they're young. There are certain things that everybody should know that this is not acceptable. So our curriculum should actually go beyond knowing the calculations. It should actually go as far as dealing with what is expected from me as a human being. I like the fact that, for example, learning again, like from the UAE, when I went there, even as simple as driving. You know, the first part of my driving lessons in the UAE was nothing to do with the roads. It was about me. What do you do when you wake up? What should be your state of mind before you get in your car? And at some point, I was like, you know what? For this period, I'm just learning about me, but then I appreciated that. How do you show courtesy on the road? Before the car thing, before the signs and everything else. And I think that if we can bring that as part of the curriculum, we are actually helping to build responsible human beings, and they will actually know this is a no, this is a yes, this is acceptable, this is not. Having said that, we also have to think about now in our places of work or whatever we are doing today, how do we ensure that we are using both a stick and a carrot? Because there are certain behaviors that we should actually say it's a no. So if somebody, for example, steals from a client or steals from the company, many times we are hard on them and we actually say it's not acceptable for you to steal. But when they give bad service, most of the times we are more like soft and like, I can get away with it. But when as leaders we begin to demonstrate that, you know what, the crime of giving bad service or the offense of giving bad service probably is even worse than stealing a $200. Because if you steal a $200, you have only taken a $200. But if you give bad service to Costa, who is helping to generate $100,000 of income. You have actually stolen from the company $100,000 because this client has gone away. So when we actually begin to help people to see it from that perspective, then it begins to change in terms of the way that we are doing things. And third, I think, what do we do when we're given a bad service? Many times, a lot of us just accept it, and we walk away. But the moment we begin to demonstrate that this is not acceptable and calling it out, then everybody then begins to align and they begin to frown upon anybody who is giving that bad service, and the culture begins to change. And you actually know that, you know, certain companies, for example, that have done that very well, you expect it. I remember one of the my colleagues was saying, you know what, he was working for one of these companies, says, you know what, the moment I went there, I knew, because everybody was so aligned, that you do not mistreat a client. If you do that, you are actually going to be held accountable, and you don't do it, you're going to be penalized even much more than breaking any other rule at the company.
Yeah, true. I mean, earlier we spoke about vision.
Yeah.
And that's the job of a leader, to be a visionary and so on. What is your take where we're living in a world of so much digital and technological advancement? There's AI, there's robotics, and so on. How should we as leaders be positioning ourselves into, you know, the future? There's so many debates whether robots should take over what we're doing, whether, you know, robots should be given an element of humanism in them, the metaverse. It's just a way of doing business. So what is your take as a leader on tech?
We have to move with the times. We have, as leaders, first of all, we have to upskill ourselves and to know the value that the tech is actually bringing. So what that requires is, because we will not find easily a school where we are going to be trained on these things. It requires us to actually, let's talk about the metaverse. There are very few people today who understand how the metaverse works. There are very few marketing people who know how they can actually use the metaverse to market their business. And Costa, I say, if you're running an organization and your marketing heads, the only marketing they do is to go and put billboards or looking for places in newspapers where to put adverts, you need to rethink whether you have the right marketing person, because things have changed. So that we have to invest ourselves, you know, in time. And if we look for materials, we'll find the materials. A lot of people today are learning so much from YouTube. And no one tells you to go to YouTube. You have to decide yourself to go there. People who are in, you know, sales roles, it's something that they have to do. People who are in operations, in control functions. One of the challenges, Costa, is sometimes there's a mismatch. You have one part of the organization that has gone way ahead, and the other part of the organization becomes a blocker because they don't know. These are old-timers who have been there for a long time. They go by the book, and the book will not have the metaverse in there. The book will not have AI in there. The policies and everything else, they have the old ways and controls of doing things.
Yeah.
So when you want to progress, they come in and says, no, this is not. So audit comes and they fail you. So I want the audit head to actually be at the same pace, to be exposed, to know what is happening today. And now, with the digital migration, it's ageless. Before we're talking about generation Z, generation, you know, millennials and so forth, but now it's ageless. This has to do with every single one. If you look at the way we are using our mobile phones and everything else, even our grandmothers are using that. So for me, what I do as much as possible is to encourage reskilling, upskilling, encouraging also in innovation, the point that each and everyone begins to participate. Policies have to be changed without waiting for, you know, a day when we say we're going to change all the policies. It will not happen. If we have to change it today, we see something is not working, we change it now.
You've spoken about books. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
Eccentric.
Thank you.
How how important is it for a leader, a CEO, to read? And how much should a CEO read?
Extremely, extremely important. Learning does not stop. And there is no way we are going to change the world to becoming a better place if the only things that we do is watching movies, listening to music, and having a nice time without really working on our mind. And like I said earlier, soul, spirit, soul, and body. The soul, the mind has to grow and it has to be straight, has to be fed. And books are very helpful. It helps you to see how other people are thinking about things. And it doesn't always mean that when you read a book like this, you're going to agree with everything that is in that book. No. And there's certain books I'm reading, I'm like, no, I don't agree with this, but there's some stuff in there.
So what are you reading currently?
So now I'm one of those that I don't read one book.
That's a go. Yeah.
No.
Makes the two of us.
Yeah. So I read quite a few books, at the same time. At the moment, I am going back to one of the books that I read some time back. It's very, very transformational, The Black Swan. I love that book, and I've just gone back to read. There is another book that I have started reading, and this one, I would say that probably I am reading it both towards my degree that I'm doing in ministry. I'm doing my doctorate, and I'm also doing a degree in ministry as well.
Great.
But it helps me in terms of the planning. So it's talking about just how you plan if you are going to minister. But it is, what I've liked about it, Costa, it is, you can apply this both in ministry, even as a pastor, but you also apply it even when you're going to do your own work, even as CEO. So it's homiletics, and it's just really just helping you in terms of how do I ensure that I've got structure? Because many times we're like, you know what, I know how to do this thing, I'm just going to stand there. But then when you begin to read, you begin to see the sense in terms of planning, which many times most people don't do.
But let's quickly talk about relationships or association, especially within a sector that is highly competitive. I've seen, interestingly, that you get along very well with your industry competitors, the Mizinga Melus, and Kwandi, and others. How do you draw the line of these relationships? What type of a CEO are you? Where do you draw the lines in terms of this is competition, I'm learning, we are sharing, and at the end of the day, how does that just work?
Yeah, so I think by the end of the day, the one thing that we should always remember as human beings, we are relational beings.
Social beings.
We have been made like that. And that is why even each and every one of us, we long for companionship. It's inside of us. And the way we define ourselves. So many times, Costa, people have asked me, okay, if you're not a banker, what are you going to be? I'm like, I am not a banker. That's
a job I do.
Yeah, that's a job I do. So these are jobs that we do.
Yeah.
And these jobs, they come and they go. And they should never separate us at all. So you have to have the boundaries in terms of, ethics. You have to ensure that you comply with, expectations in terms of competition, and what you do not have to upset the market. So there are certain things, for example, even with my colleagues, you've mentioned Mukwandi, you've mentioned Mizinga as an example. There are things we never talk about. When we are there, we'll talk about everything else, and there's certain things we just never, will not even get into that conversation at all, because we know that she has a responsibility, I have a responsibility, and we respect that. But that should not take away the relationship. And who knows? You know, today, Costa, you may be my competitor. Tomorrow, you will be working together. And those relationships have to continue whilst still delivering on the expectation from our principals.
I mean, finally, you've risen through the corporate ladder. I mean, I met you almost now 18, 19 years ago, working in the bank, and all those SOS projects we used to do. But what would be your summary in terms of what your winning CEO secrets are that somebody can learn from? I mean, it's been a long learning curve for you to be where you are today.
The first one, and the most important one for me, is to celebrate your uniqueness. Never trying to be somebody else or to be like anybody else, but to know very, very well who you are, to be very proud of who you are, to be confident of who you are, and to bring yourself to the table as you, because there's something that I have which nobody else has. And if I hide that and keep it to myself, I am actually depriving you, I'm depriving the world of that which I am carrying. So I'm never afraid to make a mistake. I am never afraid to be the only one in the room that holds a certain view, because that's me. You know, if I try to be something else, then, I'm not me. So I just bring myself there. Number two, it's very, very important never to, get into a place where you begin to hold yourself back. Because there's a lot of fear, and many times it is the fear of failure. It is the fear of what people will think about us, and fear of being judged. So one of the things that I've really believed in is you can be the only one, the only person in the world that holds a certain view. That view is what the world needs. And guess what? Even if it's wrong, but you have still shared it.
And that's in your book.
And that's in my book. Even if it's wrong, you have still shared it. Yeah. So I would think not only for leaders, I would think that even for individuals as well, if we become comfortable to bring ourselves to the world, this world is going to be a better place. And we allow, by the way, the same way I'm thinking about this for myself, I should think the same about you. Yeah. And I should think about the same for my team. And if I am going to be courageous to speak, I should allow others to be courageous to speak to me. So the same way I am speaking out, I should be receptive to different views.
Sonny, it's always great to meet up, but I know that leaders like yourself are always learning and getting exposed. It's been a wet interview. We didn't expect it.
We got soaked, right?
Thanks to Andrew and his team. But
we got soaked.
The miners, trail. Yeah. What have you learned here today? I mean, what's your takeaway?
You know what? I think and we keep on learning all the time. I think one of the things that I've learned just coming here at Miners is, how this place is just so well organized. It is outside of the city, and it just, you come here, the environment is just so refreshing. And I'll definitely come back here with the family. And I would also encourage people out there that you have to take a break. Many times we spend it, we are so busy running around in the traffic and everything else. We all need that time where you can just come in, relax. The wonderful animals that we have here, the walk, going up and down, getting soaks, seeing God's creation. And I just learned from you, actually, Costa, because at some point when the rain was starting, I was like, okay, we're going to go in the van and everything else. And then you said, no, let's keep on walking.
Exactly.
I said, okay, you know what? I love that. When you start something, finish it.
Yeah.
From mountain peaks to market peaks, Sonny Zulu proves that leadership is about staying dry in spirit even when the rain won't stop. In secret, lead with calm, not control.